Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, Season 2, Episode 60. So in yesterday's episode, which I wasn't expected to do, I reviewed all of Modern Doctor Who Series 4 as well as the 2007 Christmas special, Voyage of the Damned, and I actually made a mistake at the end of yesterday's episode because I said that the feature in today's episode would be Inspirational Quote, which is wrong. It's actually the weekly quiz. And to start off this episode, there'll be some more Modern Doctor Who recaps. Reviews, not recaps, kind of recaps / reviews during this episode. We're going to start off with the weekly recap, followed by the weekly quiz, and then the Modern Doctor Who reviews. So between the last weekly recap and weekly quiz, I've reviewed The Runaway Bride, the 2006 Christmas special, or all of Series 3, which is Smith and Jones, The Shakespeare Code, Gridlock, Daleks in Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks, Lazarus Experiment 42, Human Nature, The Family of Blood, Blink, Utopia, The Sound of Drums, Last of the Time Lords. As well as we've had all the features that we've had coming up this week: Inspirational Quote, Book Extract, and 3 and 30 during that time. And which was then followed by the 2-part episode of My Neighbours reviews, which didn't actually include a feature, which was then followed by my review of Only Murders in the Building Series 3 Episode 6 with the One Killer Question, followed afterwards some more Neighbours news, the Who Spy announcement, and the return of Finder. And then in yesterday's episode, as I said, I reviewed every single episode of Series 4 as well as Voyage of the Damned. So that is Voyage of the Damned, of course. Then Series 4 consists of Partners in Crime, The Fires of Pompeii, Planet of the Ood, The Sontaran Stratagem, The Poisoned Sky, The Unicorn and the Wasp, The Doctor's Daughter, wrong way around, Silence of the Library, Forest of the Dead, Midnight, Turn Left, Stolen Earth, and Genies, and yesterday's episode finished off with The Challenge. Now it's time for this week's weekly quiz. Yeah, like I just said, before we get to the Modern Doctor reviews, it is time for this week's weekly quiz. So question number 1 is: who plays Donna Noble in Modern Doctor Who? Next up is: who plays Martha Jones in Modern Doctor Who? Question 3 is: which famous historical figure stars in an episode of Series 3 of Modern Doctor Who? Question 4 is: who were the villains in the Series 3 two-parter, which were Series 3 episodes 4 and 5? Question 5 is: what was the name the Doctor gave himself when he had to transfer into human form in Series 3 Episode 8, Human Nature, to protect himself and Martha? Question 6 is: what does Martha's mum do to the Doctor in the Lazarus Experiment? Question 7 is: which villain makes their debut in Blink, Series 3 Episode 10 of Modern Doctor Who? Question 8 is Derek Jacobi and John Sim play the same character in the last 3 episodes of Doctor Who Series 3, but which character do they both play? Question 9 is on what date was it announced that Neighbours would return with a brand new series in 2023, which by the time you are watching this video is already out. Next up, question number 10 is what is the name of the new dog in Neighbours? Question 11, Martha Jones makes a return in which episode of Series 4 of Modern Doctor Who? And final question, question 12. Silence of the Library marks the first appearance of a recurring character. Who is that recurring or future recurring character? That is it for this week's weekly quiz, but it's now time for the weekly quiz answers. So question number 1, I asked you who plays Donna Noble in Modern Doctor Who? The answer is of course Catherine Tate. Question 2 is who plays Martha Jones in Modern Doctor Who? And that answer is Freema Agyeman. Question number 3, which famous historical figure stars in an episode of Series 3 of Modern Doctor Who? That is William Shakespeare. Obviously, if I told you the title of Series 3 Episode 2, the Shakespeare Coda would have given it away. Question number 4, I asked you who were the villains in the Series 3 two-parter, Series 3 Episode 4 and 5. They were of course the Daleks. Similar to question 3, if I gave you the episode titles, that would have given you the answer away, with Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. Question number 5, I asked you what was the name the Doctor gave himself when he had to transfer to human form in Series 3 Episode 8, Human Nature, to protect himself and Martha, and that was John Smith. Question number 6, what does Martha's mum do to the Doctor in Series 3 Episode 6, The Lazarus Experiment, and Martha's mum slaps the Doctor. Question 7, I asked you which villain makes their debut in Blink, and that is of course the Weeping Angels. Question number 8, I asked you Derek Jacobi and John Sim play the same character in Doctor Who Series 3. The last 3 episodes, Utopia, It's the Sound of the Drums, and Last of the Time Lords, and they play the Master. Question number 9, I asked you on what date was it announced that Neighbours would return in 2023, and that was Neighbours' return was announced on the 17th of November 2022. The name of the new dog in Neighbours is Trevor the Dog. Question 11, Martha Jones makes her return to Modern Doctor Who in Series 4 Episode 4, titled The Sontaran Strategy. And final question, Silence of the Library marks the first appearance of a recurring character. That character is of course Riversong, played by Alex Kinston. That's it for the weekly quiz and the weekly answers. So yes, as I've mentioned several times during this episode, yesterday I covered the entirety of Modern Doctor Who Series 4 as well as the 2007 Christmas special, Voyage of the Damned. Now, I'm not going to be covering Series 5, I might get on to Series 5, I'm not entirely sure yet. In this episode, otherwise it'll be probably in the next one. We'll be covering, as I said, at the end of yesterday's episode and in the introduction and throughout this episode, I'll be covering the 2009 Christmas specials. Now this was because Series 4 finished in late June, early July 2008, and Series 5 didn't premiere till April 2010. So we could have ended up with nearly 2 years of non-Doctor Who. But no, that's not what happened. We had 5 special episodes, which I'm going to try and cover them all in this episode. So that is The Next Doctor, which was the 2008 Christmas special, followed by Planet of the Dead, which was a Easter special. One of them 2 Doctor Who Easter specials. I'll get back to that in a couple of weeks. Followed by The Waters of Mars, which was the only autumny really standalone special, plus another episode which I'll get to in the coming weeks, followed by the 2009 Christmas special, The End of Time Part 1, with The End of Time Part 2 premiering on the 1st of January 2010, followed by Series 5 in spring 2010. So it is time for my review for the Modern Doctor Who 2008 Christmas special, The Next Doctor. So this story takes place in the 1890s. Someone calls the Doctor, and someone else, not our 10th Doctor, who was played by David Tennant, who refers to themselves as the Doctor, lots of doctors and not doctors, replies with the TARDIS and Sonic in tow. The Cybermen are the villains of this story. The 10th Doctor disguises the noises emitting from his Sonic as he whistles. Yes. The Cybermen work with a woman called Miss Hartigan. Miss Hartigan is converted into a Cyberman. In this story, Victorian orphans are treated as slaves to the Cybermen. The 10th Doctor mocks the Cybermen being unusually silent. The 10th Doctor explains to the other Doctor's companion what Cybermen are. The 10th Doctor saves the other Doctor's son. The other Doctor is revealed to be Jackson Lake, and Jackson Lake enters the Doctor's TARDIS and is stunned at what he finds inside. That is it for my review for the Doctor Who 2008 Christmas special, The Next Doctor. Here are a few clips from The Next Doctor. Yes, so you will have just seen a couple of clips from the 2008 Christmas special titled The Next Doctor. So next up is the second in the series of specials which were broadcast in 2009 in between Series 4 and Series 5 with David Tennant as the 10th Doctor. So the next special I'm reviewing is the 2009 Easter special titled Planet of the Dead. Here is my review. This story takes place on an alien planet. Lady Christina, who is a famous jewel thief, steals another jewel. Lady Christina meets the Doctor on a London double-decker bus. The Doctor offers Lady Christina an Easter egg. The Doctor recounts the story of the first Easter to Lady Christina. The bus the Doctor and Lady Christina are passengers on enters a wormhole. The Doctor pulls out a technical device and manages to predict the bus going through a wormhole. The bus lands on an alien planet. The alien planet that this story takes place on. The Doctor gets blamed for causing the bus to drive through the wormhole. The police call in UNIT. The Doctor sonics a phone, so he's able to call UNIT. The Doctor can tell that a UNIT soldier is saluting him. The Doctor hates being saluted. The UNIT scientist is the number one fan of the Doctor. I think someone else might take that position later on in modern Doctor Who. We will get to that soon. The Doctor gets distracted. The Doctor asks the UNIT scientist to analyse the wormhole. The UNIT scientist has invented his own units of measurement. The Doctor calls the UNIT scientist a genius and his new best friend. Lady Christina steals a jewel to save herself. The Doctor and the other passengers on the bus. The Doctor saves Lady Christina's life. The Doctor finds one of the jewels that Lady Christina has stolen. Lady Christina is delighted to hear the Doctor stole his TARDIS from the Time Lords. The Doctor saves Lady Christina's life again. The UNIT soldier threatens to kill the UNIT scientist. The bus exits the wormhole. Lady Christina is arrested and escapes from the police car with help from the Doctor. The Doctor instructs the scientist to close the wormhole. The UNIT scientist has successfully closed the wormhole, and the Doctor and Lady Christina kiss. That was my review for the 2009 Doctor Who Easter special titled Planet of the Dead. Here are a few clips from that episode. Yeah, so you've just seen a few clips from the 2009 Doctor Who Easter special titled Planet of the Dead. Next up is the third special in the series of specials taking place between Series 4 and Series 5, titled The Waters of Mars, which was broadcast in November 2009, about a month or 6 weeks before the first part of The End of Time, followed a week later by The End of Time Part 2. So here is my review for The Waters of Mars. So this story takes place in a spaceship that has landed on Mars. The villains of this story are the Flood, who are made of water. The Flood possess several crew members. These several infected crew members then chase the Doctor and the captain of this spaceship. Adelaide Brooke. The event of the story is a fixed point of time that the Doctor must not change. Adelaide is an orphan and has been for 50 years since the events of Series 4 finale, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, because this story takes place in the future, in the year 2059. The Doctor is in a spacesuit. Adelaide demands the Doctor tells her true fate. The Doctor recounts the events of Series 4 Episode 2, which is the fires of Pompeii, to Adelaide. The Doctor tells Adelaide she will destroy the spaceship and kill everyone on board. The Doctor admits he can't save anyone on the spaceship. The Doctor also confesses that Adelaide will save her life. The Doctor then becomes the Time Lord victorious by saving everyone and intervening on a fixed point of time and break the laws of time. Adelaide activates Action 5. Action 5 initiates self-destruction on the spaceship. The Doctor controls the robot to open the TARDIS. Adelaide disagrees with the Doctor's actions. The Doctor saves Adelaide and 2 other crew members. Adelaide kills herself to preserve history. The Doctor admits he has gone too far. And Ood appears and summons the Doctor, which leads directly into the events of the end of time. Here are a few clips from the November 2009 special of Doctor Who, titled The Waters of Mars. Yep, so that was a few clips from the November 2009 Doctor Who special, titled The Waters of Mars. Next up is the final regular episode, featuring the 10th Doctor, which was broadcast in 2 parts. The End of Time Part 1 was released on Christmas Day 2009, with Part 2 being released on New Year's Day 2010. Obviously only a week apart. So in this episode, the Doctor explains how he feels towards regeneration to Wilf, and explains it his death basically and everything changing. The Doctor sees Donna in her new life without her memories of travelling with him and her new husband Sean. The Master returns in this story and turns every member of the human race to look like him, except for Donna and Wilf. Donna remembers her adventures with the Doctor. The Doctor has activated a failsafe where Donna can remember the Doctor only once. The Doctor visits all his companions one last time, which includes Donna, Rose and Martha, before regenerating. The 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, regenerates into the 11th Doctor, played by Matt Smith. And that's actually it for the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 60. So in this episode we have had the weekly recap, the weekly quiz, and we have reviewed all of the 2009 specials. Start off with The Next Doctor, followed by Planet of the Dead, then it was The Waters of Mars, and finishing off with The End of Time. So tomorrow we'll be starting the 11th Doctor's era with reviewing part or some, or maybe all, of Series 5 of Doctor Who. I will be continuing the Doctor Who review to get reviews to get all the way to the last episode that was broadcast before the 60th anniversary specials, which will broadcast this November with 2022's The Power of the Doctor, which was broadcast on the 23rd of October. But that's it, and I will see you for the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 61. And that is it for the Everything Podcast Season 2 Episode 60. Goodbye.